Hello, Jeff.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you.
Thank you for coming to Paris.
Finally in Paris.
It's my privilege. Thank you.
So can you present a little bit yourself and explain to our followers what are your job on a daily basis?
Sure. I run the OneDrive and SharePoint engineering team. So it's almost 1,000 people that do the development for the OneDrive service for consumers, and also the SharePoint Online service that includes OneDrive for business customers. Obviously, that's my main responsibility. Of course, I work across all the parts of Microsoft, like working with Azure on directory and storage, working with the rest of Office 365, so we deliver an integrated experience with Windows and how OneDrive and Windows could be together. So, but my core team is OneDrive and SharePoint, and I would say about 80% of the time I'm spent internally planning and executing the product. What should be in the next release. We have all sorts of trade-offs to make in terms of what order to do features in. I spend a lot of time, my actual office is in the design hallway. I sort of turned down the corner office so I could sit right in the middle of our design team, so I could run up and down the hallways and see the UI, and we can talk about things. And then about, maybe 20% of my time is coming out on the road and visiting customers and partners to get feedback on what we should do next, how we can help. But my main job is building. I do a little bit of selling, but mostly building.
That's just awesome, actually, honestly. And tomorrow is the big day.
Yeah.
So we have the SharePoint Saturday Paris, the second edition.
Yes.
And you'll be doing the keynote.
Yes.
We are actually surprised, honestly,
yeah.
Amazed, excited to having you. Could you just give us some explanation about the keynote for tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, the sort of timing of it was interesting, is that when I came back to the team, clearly one of the things that's really special about SharePoint is the community and the initiative you guys take to run these events, not just in Paris, but your colleagues around the world is really awesome, and I think unlike any other product that I can think of. And so we feel really lucky about that and fortunate, and we want to engage even more with the community. And so when we were working on our plans for when we would do the big disclosure of the future of SharePoint, we chatted on private message on Twitter, and because I wanted to do basically a really important global city SharePoint Saturday right after the future SharePoint event, where I could get out and connect with the community, get feedback on what we said and what people liked or what people didn't like and where we could do better. And I think you would all say, and I think you have reason to say, Paris is the best city in the planet, and so who wouldn't want to come? And the fact that it was in May, a few weeks after the event, was perfect. I didn't even have to think about it.
Perfect timing.
Just awesome.
Now I'm going to get private messages and emails from every other SharePoint Saturday group in the world saying our city's the best in the world too, and they're right too. But here we are in Paris in May.
That's just cool. That was actually my second question, why Paris? But just perfectly answered that.
Yeah.
So for the keynote, can we just expect same kind of information as the future of SharePoint as on 4 May? Or?
Yeah, what I was thinking about, and we certainly can talk about it as we get ready, but we'll ask people who come tomorrow, who watch the videos and so forth. But my assumption is most people did. So rather than go through exactly everything we did in 2 hours in a sort of compressed time frame, I thought what would be good is just for me to recap pretty quickly. What are we trying to do? Make file sharing simple, reinvent the internet in a mobile, intelligent way, give people a modern development platform that's easier to write to, and then really address people's security and compliance issues, whether they're all in the cloud, or all on premises, or both, and sort of reinforce sort of those key messages, but then have an open discussion. And rather than, when we were doing the webcast, which by the way, we sort of saw the stats the other day, over 160,000 people have watched the webcast and the associated videos, which is pretty unbelievable. And so rather than just I want to take advantage that we're here together in person and have an open discussion.
Yes.
So I want to have it be mostly Q&A and be pretty informal and answer whatever people want to ask and take whatever feedback people want to give.
How is community important for Microsoft or for you personally? What do you think about the local user groups in Paris or in Stockholm or in Zagreb?
Yeah, it is pretty humbling if you think about it that there's a lot of technology products out there that people just buy and use in their personal life or their business life. This is something where you guys and your colleagues have said, we care about this so much, we enjoy this, we think it's valuable, that we want to use our time outside of work to organize these events. And of course, that's, there's something in it for you guys and the participants. Hopefully, you're growing your network, you're advancing your career opportunities, you're getting prospective customers and so forth. But I actually think there's something, from what I understand, talking to you guys and your peers, people do this not just because they should as business networking or education, but because they actually love it. It's their passion, which is why, I've been at Microsoft almost 25 years. The reason I'm here is because I like to do this stuff. And so it is really special to come to a SharePoint Saturday. I did one a couple weeks ago in Nashville, Tennessee in the United States, which was fun. Wonderful city. I went to lots of honky-tonk bars where they have great music. That's what Nashville's known for. But it was really, wow, it was really great to, I talked to people who were in the IT department at Tennessee State University, people who were from NASA, the space agency, and just it grounds you in like what are these organizations getting out of SharePoint? What do they like? Where could we do a better job? And I just think sitting in Redmond, we get lots of feedback via email and social networks and so forth, and that's great. But there's nothing like going to a community event run by the most passionate people who love SharePoint almost as much as I do, and hearing what they love about it, maybe what they don't love about it, but they want to be better so they can love that feature too. And so I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah, okay, that's a great explanation. So what is the next step for you? I think Ignite may be at a good place in your agenda.
Yeah.
I will be there, and maybe you can explain to our followers why it's important or interesting to go there.
Yeah, there's a couple things. One is we talked about a lot of capabilities at the May 4th event that I'm going to go home after this week, and I'll do a little bit more traveling. I'll go to the Worldwide Partner Conference. But most of the summer is just going to be heads down execution. We've got the new document libraries in first release, the SharePoint Home in first release. We've shipped the OneDrive apps on SharePoint integration, OneDrive on iOS. But we've got more stuff to do. The new team site provisioning, groups integration, homepage is coming out. So we've got a set of stuff that we've got to finish, and that's when you say, what am I going to do next? First thing I'm going to do before Ignite is spend the next 3 months shipping stuff and shipping great stuff and listening to the feedback and making sure it's really great. But then in Ignite, we've got 40 sessions, I think, on SharePoint. So,
40 sessions. Wow.
So that one of the things, like when we were on Twitter, somebody in Nashville actually, I think, started this, that bring back the SharePoint conference. And well, Ignite is the SharePoint conference. Everybody should come to Ignite. We're going to have 40 sessions on SharePoint. So we certainly got feedback that the 15-minute video we did on the SharePoint framework, all the JavaScript gurus out there sent us mail and said, hey, 15 minutes is not enough. I want like it all. And so we'll get that out this summer. But clearly, Dan Kogan and the team that runs the SharePoint framework, they'll have multiple sessions. The people doing new document libraries, they'll have sessions. We had Navjot Verk, who runs the back-end infrastructure SharePoint program management for me. We did an interview in the event, and we spent like 2 seconds saying we're going to have conditional access capabilities coming out this summer. Clearly, that's a place where people want a whole session. So, if you want to go to the SharePoint conference, go to Ignite.
Okay. That's pretty cool, actually.
Thank you so much.
And then I know you guys and your peers will take that content and have the next year's worth of SharePoint Saturdays based on it, which is part of it.
We'll definitely do, that's for sure.
Yeah, part of the goal is to get all the best content we can, the MVPs together, and just, for the SharePoint Saturdays that happen through 2017, really have great content.
So that's it, I
Great.
guess.
Thank you so much.
Thank you a lot.
Great.
See you then tomorrow at the keynote at SharePoint Saturday.